What are you saying?
Well, you do have a large head. That's why the short row didn't work. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
So
is it true that you are heading for episode 200 in your podcast series?
we're 10 away. Can we make it?
This is 190?
This is 190. Welcome back to the dining room. And I have a special guest today, Mr. Meta Spencer.
Spencer. Happy to be here.
And I'm Melissa, and this is Knitting the Stash. And I don't know, we've got stuff about hoodies today.
There's a new sweater.
This is like the Hoodie 2.0 episode.
Why is it 2.0?
I talked about necklines when I was first doing the Downtown Hoodie by Tori, and I also talked about the fact that it's a short row hood on that sweatshirt, and that I brought in my Colculus hood, talked a little bit about that, but now I have 3 hoods to show you.
So this is your 3rd hoodie sweater.
Yes.
But how many hoods have you knitted?
A lot.
A lot of
hoods.
A lot of hoods.
So we'll get into sweaters. We're gonna do some hoodie stuff, like what counts as a hoodie, by the way. It's up for debate. We had kind of a debate about that.
I just did a little bit of internet research about the term hoodie. And it completely confirmed what I was suspecting, which is that it's a 1990s word.
It is a 90s word. Yeah.
Like hooded sweatshirt's been around and hoods and stuff.
But hoodie got some associations in the 90s. So we're going to get into hoodies. I also have my simple thing, my botched background project fixed up. And I think Spencer...
Background project.
But we all have those. You and I have talked about those before. And
like
then
you think it's going to be
it's going to be just basic in the background.
But it goes botched.
It goes wrong, and then it becomes the focus of all of your attention. So I fixed it. Yay! And we have a make-along going along with other botched background projects. So if you'd like to get involved over on Ravelry.
So like in the make-along, you've got to botch stuff.
Yeah, if you have to. Yeah. I didn't think of it that way.
Like how to screw it up.
Yeah, you have to botch something
it's hard,
to join the make-along.
Yeah, right on.
And then I think Spencer had a question for me about the book, but we'll see what it is. And since the book is coming out in September, I promised you all little segments as we go.
We'll do that.
We'll do a little book, and the book is Reinventing Wool, and I will pop it on the screen here just so you can see it because it's beautiful and I love it. And it's my finished object for a long time. It is going to be my finished object for a long time. If you're looking for me on the internet, you can find me just about everywhere as Knitting
the Stash.
There you go.
One word on the Ravelry, on Instagram,
YouTubes. And the main website.
And a website.
Which is knittingthestash.com, which will magically appear at the bottom of the screen. And if you're looking for Spencer.
Meta Spencer.
One word. And you can find all kinds of cool building projects and whatnot. Whatever he's doing.
I haven't made anything wearing the sweater yet.
Oh, you haven't?
But
you gotta
it's
do
in
that.
the works.
Okay, that'll
happen.
Be really
in the other sweaters, yeah, but not this one yet.
Okay. Yeah. And how many sweaters have I knit you at this point? Is it?
I think 5. 2, 3. Maybe 6.
I think 6.
I think this is sweater number 6.
Yeah.
There's the hemp one.
Oh, that might be 7.
Maybe 7. I'm a lucky man.
There's a lot of sweaters.
I get a lot of sweaters.
We didn't end up with the sweater curse, where like if you knit a sweater for someone, then like...
it didn't happen.
Didn't work out. We're on number 7, I think. So there you go. And I like this one.
This is a good one.
I hope you like it.
She nailed it on this one.
Yeah. So, okay. So because I've talked about this on here a little bit before, you all know this is the Downtown Hoodie by Tori, and I knit a version of it, I don't even know, a couple months ago. So this is my version in Skeins yarn. It's kind of green with a little bit of purple going on, and
really cool.
The short row hood. This is all the original pattern with my mods.
Stripes on the sleeves.
Didn't do the stripes on the body. Did some different color stuff. There, you can watch another video on this particular hoodie if you're interested. But when I made this one,
I said, "That's awesome."
You were like, "You can make."
It's dangerous. I don't want to ask because it's like
you should ask. I've told him he can ask.
It's a big deal in this sweater, but I gushed on that sweater.
Yeah.
And then I got one.
So I made him this one, and every time I asked him like, "Do you want this or this or this or that?" He was like, "No, you're the knitter. You decide." Which I also.
Yeah, can you imagine like, oh, what kind of cuffs do you want? Do you want to?
Is it because you don't know what kind of cuffs you want, or is it just because you're kind of like?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of cuffs I want.
Okay, well there you go.
I mean, I know I don't want them to be really tight.
Yes, this is the thing.
Otherwise, it's like whatever.
After you knit 7 sweaters for someone, you start to get a sense of what they like, and so you can kind of build those little things into the make. So.
I wanted this split hem at the bottom because it just looks cool.
So I stole that from Isabel Kramer's Aldous sweater, which I made.
It's a Franken sweater. It's got a lot of things from different places.
It does have a lot of things from different places. Yeah, and
okay,
then it has a broken rib on the cuff.
So how do we show the stuff on the back? You want to do pictures? Or you want me to get up?
I can show. Well, you can turn around for a minute if you want to.
I'm gonna try to turn around.
See if we can do it. It'll show up. Yeah, there you go. So you can kind of see these were the crochet lines that I put in. They were just pearl bumps basically, and then I added the vertical stripes later. And if it's not showing up here, I'll put a picture in so that you can see.
What do you mean pearl bump?
Turn around.
What's a pearl bump?
A pearl bump. So as I was knitting along in stockinette, which is all knit stitches in the round, I had a marker so that I would remember to purl a stitch.
Just one.
Just one stitch, for each
and
vertical
you do that
line.
as a row.
Well, you do that each time you come around. So I would start one and stop it, and I'd start another one and stop it, and start another one and stop it. So they were staggered.
So there's a where the knit stitch is like on the outside, the pearl's kind of like it's
just sitting in there, yeah.
And then you came back in
with a crochet hook and the contrast color.
And did what?
And you kind of hook. I don't know what it's called because I'm not a crocheter, but like you basically create a knit stitch, a chain of knit stitches. I think it's just single chain crochet.
That are kind of hooking on to the knit stitches on the sides?
Yes, you go back in, because you can see the ladder because of the pearl bumps. So you're basically going into one, pulling up yarn, hooking it on the stitch that's already sitting there, and then taking that whole loop and going back into the next one and coming back out so that it's attached to the fabric.
From the top down?
I think I did mine from the bottom up.
Bottom up, wouldn't really matter.
Because that way the stitches are in the same direction. Are they not? Oh, you know what? They're in the opposite direction. I should have gone from the top down.
Next time.
I hadn't thought about that.
Maybe another one.
You always have a really good
I was just wondering.
stuff. That's interesting because it's a top-down sweater. So had I done the crochet chains going top-down, the pseudo knit stitches would have been in the same direction, and I didn't. Interesting.
You know, it's all good.
You're good.
It's all
good at this
fine.
Stuff.
And you did them in different lengths and stuff.
That was just kind of organic. I tried to make sure it kind of covered the full back of the sweater, but at different. And I did one that had double. And...
So when are you going to put the pocket on the front so that it's a hoodie?
See, there's no hoodie on this. There's no pocket on this one.
But like it's a hooded sweater, but a hoodie.
It also doesn't have a drawstring.
But a hoodie
has to have a pocket.
It has a kangaroo pocket on the front.
Okay, this is one of my other hoodies.
Like when are you putting that on there?
This one has a pocket. And the pocket,
it has a
the pocket is built into the funky texture on the front. So you can't even kind of notice it because it has this I-cord on the side and then the funky texture. So
would you say a pocket on the front defines a hoodie? It's not called a pockety, it's called a hoodie.
It's called a hoodie. But this one doesn't have drawstring either.
So is this a hoodie?
I think it's a hoodie.
It's a hoodie.
It's called the downtown hoodie.
Without a pocket.
But
every other hoodie I have has a pocket on the front.
Even the ones that have zippers.
When it has a zipper.
Yeah, it has a zipper. It'll have two.
And all the hooded jackets I have are not hoodies.
No.
I feel like the hoodie is more integrated into the... Like hoods are just kind of on the back, but a hoodie
is part of this. It kind of sits around your neck.
Part of the thing.
But it's interesting that it's a 90s thing because I associate hoodies with like total kind of punk culture in the 90s, like people wearing like chains on their wallets.
You wore your hoodie.
Hoodies.
You have your hoodie.
A little goth action.
But the term I think started creeping up in the 90s. That's when I heard it for the first time.
That's when it was big.
Some etymology website said it was 90 or 93.
Now you were asking why it was HOODIE.
It's spelled a couple different ways though, according to the interwebs. Some people do Y. I like IE.
I like IE. I would say IE. Yeah. Maybe it's a regional thing. We talk a lot about like dialect and like different words for different places and stuff. Maybe hoodie is regional. Yeah.
But don't you think IE makes it seem a little bit cute? Well, it's like
cute and kind of like, I don't know. I feel like it's a little more like casual.
Yeah, it's a hoodie.
Yeah, it's disarmed.
Not a hooder.
Or disarmed.
Yeah, like it's just like innocent.
But there's so many other like
for kids or something.
I guess I'm thinking of like we were talking earlier, and it's like the other places hoods show up is like hooded. I'm hooding someone in a graduation ceremony this weekend, so which doesn't mean actually hooding them, but you do put a thing around their neck and kind of around their cloak.
Back. But it would function as a hood.
It would reference, it's like a reference to like a medieval hood.
I think cloaks and stuff have hoods.
Yeah, but I guess raincoats have hoods.
There's a lot of hoods out there, but they're not hoodies.
Yeah. I think this is, maybe it's not the quintessential hoodie because it doesn't have the...
It was a hooded sweater.
Yeah, hooded sweater, but that doesn't...
Maybe in the future you could stitch what looks like a pocket on the front.
You could.
So it's a simulacral front pocket bogusness.
Pulling out those
to make
English professor words,
to make it
Mr. Shaft.
seem like a genuine artifact hoodie.
Yeah, you could. You could do a lot of things. And plus the hoodie pocket is really interesting.
No.
Like
that was her way of saying no.
There are so many ways to put the hooded pocket on that this one is interesting because it's so integrated. So it's like it's not sewn on afterwards. You create a flap of fabric.
With a typical hoodie, it's just stitched on there.
Yeah, but this one you can see that it was just.
It's not the best place to have a pocket. Like once you fill that up with stuff, like whenever I jam stuff in there, put some gloves in there.
It's kind of like an awkward place to carry stuff. I always put stuff
in
there.
Stuff.
And it gets like.
But for your hands to stay warm.
Yeah.
But anyway, this one doesn't have it.
You don't have it.
I'm just giving you a hard time. It's really nice without the pocket. I don't feel like it needs it.
Yeah.
And it's got the hood you were saying has to you got to flop it down.
Okay, so here's the thing about hoods. So we talked about a couple different hoods when we were talking about necklines. I didn't mod the necklines too much on this sweater.
What do you mean mod the neck? Oh, you kept it like you would have done a regular sweater.
I kept it almost like the sweater. So this is the downtown hoodie version. It has this crossover thing in the front.
Yeah. Do you do that on this one?
No.
Oh, I got no crossover.
You didn't get the crossover.
What do I have to do to get a crossover around here?
Well, here's why. So I knit his hood in the same way that I knit this hood. And you can see this is a short row hood. So it has a flat back that sits really nicely. And I talked about this in the episode. It sits really nicely when you
flop it
down. But it's basically creating, with short rows, this kind of shaped flat piece of fabric. And
Sounds
then
good.
You turn it like
a sock.
Almost like a sock, but not quite. Sock. And you create this fabric going this way, right? So I did that for Spencer's.
It's really kind of like this.
You can. I'm really trying to show it on here so you can see it.
I get it. It's
not
really round. It's actually a panel in a.
So I did that for Spencer's, and part of the problem was I think if you're going to do a short row hood, there are basically.
You mean on the first drafts you did it?
Yes.
Yeah.
There are 3 kinds of hoods that I've been able to find, and I'll put a link below to a really great article by someone who did the Master Knitter program. And
there's an article
about
on hoods?
Yes. This is how I finally figured out what hood to put on his sweater. So there's the short row hood. These are the 3 basic types. The short row hood that has the flat panel, and then you change direction and you knit it forward to create
That's
a
number
hood.
1.
There's
number 2. Oh, you got number 2.
Yeah, this is number 2,
okay,
which has a center panel usually.
Oh yeah.
And then
I've got one like that on a
the
sweatshirt.
center panel, is knit this, and then you're picking up stitches off the center panel or doing something else
and kind of coming
and
down.
Creating the fabric that goes this direction.
So it's like this with the side things.
So it doesn't have as much. You can see it doesn't have as much depth to it.
Yeah.
This one doesn't. My Coculus hood, which is a similar construction, has a great depth because you can really control how far forward that center strip goes and then come down on the sides.
I have this exact hood design on a Carhartt sweatshirt.
There you go. So it's a common, second common hood type. And then you have number 3 on Spencer's sweater.
All right, let me see it.
So number 3 is I think the ideal. I kind of think it's an ideal hood.
Oh, it's the ideal.
But I like this. I love the center stripe too. Those are my 2 favorites of the 3. So with this kind of hood, what you do is you have a certain number of stitches that you've picked up around your neckline. And then you, in say the first 2, 3, 4 inches, depending on how big the head is that you're dealing with.
What are you saying?
Well, you do have a large head. That's why the short row didn't work. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
So in that space of the first 2, 3 inches, you're going to do increases. Because otherwise you'd just have something that was tight to the head and wouldn't fit up over the head.
Yeah.
So you do work increases here to give you a little extra fabric.
More fabric going on.
And then you're just working all the way up until the top. And then you work a few short rows right across this back crown of the hoodie.
Almost like closing a hat?
Mm-hmm. And then whatever you call it, grafted this together. You could do a 3-needle bind off as well.
So there's actually a seam right here?
Mm-hmm, there's a seam there. Now the 4th way to do a hood.
Whoa, 4th, you said there were 3.
There is a 4th way. The 4th way to do a hood is
piece it together.
No, not quite. It's for kids. Basically, you pick up all the stitches, you just knit a big rectangle, and then you sew it together at the top. So a lot of kids' sweatshirts will be like that. It's not quite good for adults.
So originally, she was over there slaving away, doing this knitting, working really hard. She finished the hood. It was method number 1.
The short row method from Downtown Hoodie.
And I tried it on. I was like excited. I tried it on. And when I put it on, it was the whole sweater kind of went up. And I was like, this is great. I was like, this is the best. And then I would take it off and the sweater would kind of go back to my shoulders.
I'm like, no, it's not working.
And I tried to get it approved. I was like, oh, that was good.
He was very sweet about it, but I was like, that does not fit your
But
head.
it pulled up the whole...
Mm-hmm. And a lot of hoods do that. Like, I think the hood in this one, because it's not quite sized correctly, does pull up the rest of the sweater a little bit.
Then I get this whole like, oh, you got a longer head than I thought.
A longer head.
You thought I was kind of like this.
Well,
that was the impression that she had when she knitted the sweater.
I knew you had a bigger head because I gave you a lot of hats. But you also have a longer neck.
It went up.
These are things you don't...
Or lower shoulders, whatever.
You don't think to measure on a person.
Well, you do a lot of measurements on sweaters, but it's always like here to here.
Right, I'm not familiar with the height of your head. Turns out it matters a lot.
With a hoodie or a hooded sweater, you got to do that.
And it turns out it matters in part because if you're doing the short row version, and because I decided to modify it later, I didn't have as many stitches around the neck picked up. So even though I tried modding the short row thing, I wondered,
you could just add to it.
Yeah, I tried going back to the short rows and doing more of them. So like originally you do short rows on every row and then you space them out at the top. So I was like, well, I'll just add more at the top. Going. We got higher.
It was still, the whole sweater was still like jacked up high.
So if you are going to do a short row hood, you have to make sure that proportionally you have enough stitches for the height of the person's head. It's a little bit of a math
The other thing I
problem.
would say though is that hoodie use, I feel like the hood is up a small percentage of the time.
This is true. And you want it to look good down.
Like I put the hood up quite a bit, but it's still like 10%, 5%.
But still, you want it to fit. If you're making someone a custom
sweater. So if it's not
sweater,
good, it's not that big a deal.
Anyway. After the second version of the short row hood.
You nailed it on number 3.
I was like, no, we're not
doing it. So you went all the way back down and started
all the way
over.
back down because I realized I didn't have enough stitches to be able to execute enough height to then be able to pull it forward. So I was like, we got to go with a mod here because I'm not going to reknit the whole sweater. So I looked around the internets and I found a sweater.
Read that article on hoodies.
And I was like, okay, how do I find a pattern for this kind of hood just so that I can check it out and see if it's the kind of hood I want. So I found this other pattern called the Clubhouse Raglan. Now both the Clubhouse Raglan and the Downtown Hoodie by Tori, I've seen them knit both for men and women. I do think that the Downtown Hoodie, in part, the height of the hood thing, it's a little bit but it's a little bit like it's not quite unisex, which it's not necessarily meant to be. I've seen men and women making it, but
it's not
necessarily a unisex pattern. The Clubhouse Raglan and this style of hood gives you a little bit more room to play with depending on the height of the person's head, because after you make your increases, which you don't have to do too many of, then you basically just knit. I think in the pattern it said 12 inches and I was really unsure whether or not that was going to work.
You went with 14, didn't you?
I did go high and we had to actually bring it back down. We brought it back down to 12.
Oh, really?
Because this part...
Here we go again.
I know.
I'm putting it on again.
This part at the back where you turn it and kind of like close it in and work some... is it decreases or short rows? I think it's decreases. No, I can't remember. Anyway, the part at the very back where you change what's going on to try to... Yeah, you're working decreases because you're trying to bring in the hood before you close it up. I ended up bringing it back down to about 12 inches. But the cool thing about this hood height, this kind of style of hood, is that if you have someone with a taller head, you can knit. You can keep knitting and then close it in and bring it forward. So it's cool.
It's a little more flexible.
Yeah. So I love this.
And it doesn't do any of that. It doesn't pull up the sweater.
Yeah.
And
you can totally... I didn't add the drawstring opening or closure because he didn't want it.
I always pull those out.
Totally do it.
I'm not a drawstring person.
So there's that.
And I always pull them out, except sometimes they're stitched to the top.
Oh.
You gotta pull them and cut them and pull them and cut them.
It's kind of a pain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great sweater.
Stitch them at the top.
Well, because otherwise you lose it.
Oh, right.
And it keeps it at the even. Yeah. It keeps them even.
Even is kind of nice for that. That is an issue with these. They kind of like...
Just put a stitch.
Yeah.
Stitch it up.
I was gonna say though, the other thing I did here is to close it up.
You did like a fold or something?
Yeah, so the Clubhouse Raglan calls for you to knit, pick up stitches and then knit a little, a turned hem basically, or turned, finishing.
For the
string. Hood. And you put the string in there. But you didn't want a string, and I knit the extra and it started to curl back on itself, kind of like and look kind of like an I-cord, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. So I just let it curl back on itself.
Yeah,
the wrong
it's got a little
way.
more texture. I like it. Like it's a little ropey.
Yeah.
I can kind of pull it on.
And it'll stay. It has a little stiffness to it on the brim, so that it'll actually stay on over a baseball.
It's almost like it's got a wire in there.
Yeah. So I sewed it down. I just tacked it down. I let it roll and then tacked it down on this side, rather than flipping it and tacking it down on the inside. And then I had to do a little funky magic right here because,
Really?
I had picked up stitches in one way for this this version, and then I switched versions, and I didn't want to quite take out those extra 2 or 3 rows. So
hey, knitting a sweater, switting a sweater,
switting a netter.
It's it takes some finesse.
Yeah, so there you go. And I think this hood looks good sitting down too. Like it actually looks good down and up, which makes me very happy.
Oh.
So there you go.
So you're satisfied?
I'm very satisfied with this.
It's a good sweater.
Yeah, and I kind of want to reknit my hood. I want to redo this short row business because I don't like the way the short row sits on my head, and I'd much rather have that kind of hood.
You can borrow the sweater whenever you want.
It does look kind of good on me. So, like my boyfriend's sweater.
Yeah, loan it to you.
Yeah. So it looks. I think
I've got a few others.
We haven't washed it yet because he basically took it from me.
I've just been wearing it.
He took it from me. He was like, "You don't mind if I just wear it, right?" I'm like,
she was done with it. Yeah. So we'll wash it, and it'll take some of the.
Yeah, some of the this will all relax a little bit. This is I decided to go with a broken rib on the cuff.
Broken rib on the cuff. I asked what that was. It was like instead of ribbing every other time,
knit row.
You knit so that the ribs are like there, but there's also like
it's a reference to a rib, but
it doesn't
bridge
knit stitch
pull it all in because he doesn't like his cuffs tight.
Yeah, it's good.
And you got like kind of like bracelet cuffs there, like bracelet length. Like I didn't go
Wonder Woman style.
A little bit, because that way it doesn't go all the way down to your hand, and you're not having to constantly like
perfect.
Roll them up.
I like it.
So there you go.
Well done.
Are you too hot now sitting here in your...
I broke a sweat. But, it's not that big a deal.
You're welcome to take it off if you want to.
Moving on.
We're piling up the sweaters over here.
Okay, we're moving on to the shawl that you knitted a few different times. 2 different ways.
Okay, this sweater had 3 sleeves and 3 hoods. But now
I was calling it like the Octa sweater because it had so many different...
It had 8.
They have different arms? You did knit the arms multiple times.
Yeah.
All right, so this ended up really good.
This is called The Simple Thing. I talked about it on the last episode, Background Knitting Project, and this is by Melina Brell. And...
Should I hold it out?
Yeah, sure. When last you saw it, it's backwards. This side's the front.
This side's
Not that it matters, it's garter.
There's a front and a back.
Yeah. Oh, and look, there's a stitch all out of place. Must be the dogs got into it. There we go, fixed it. So this is The Simple Thing. It's just a free pattern on Ravelry, really fun. I brought it with me to see my kid, and I thought it would be just a simple knit. And unfortunately, when I got to this point, as you saw in the last episode, I picked all the wrong colors, and it just turned into a nightmare.
It looked fine to me, but she wanted this kind of blend, and the blue ended up really working with the other colors.
I think so. So I finally just picked a, this was from my stash. That was what I wasn't sure about. But a lot of you recommended going with a more solid color after seeing the shawl.
It's kind of cool how it goes solid. Because everything else is all variegated.
Yeah, so I tried to find a blue-green that would kind of blend in with some of the blue-green here. And I left this portion in because a bunch of you were like, leave that portion in. So we went with the solid color, and it blended.
So you're basically getting tips from people who watch the videos.
I love it.
I like that.
That's great. Oh, whoops.
See, what happens with me
is like a horse feeder. It's not really how you want to wear it.
Like I'll build something, I'll make a YouTube video about it, and then I'll get all these suggestions, but I'm not going to unbuild like the porch I just built. It's just like, well, maybe next time. But with this, it's kind of a little more in process.
I was already taking it apart, so people had all kinds of suggestions for it.
It looks good on you.
I think it ended up looking really cool. Like as the colors and everything ended up blending together. So the botched background project became awesome.
You've got the knit along with everyone just botching stuff left and right.
Yeah, on purpose. And then the on purpose botch. So I'm un-botched now, but I have other things that are botched.
That turned out really great.
You know?
And finally, you have something to keep your neck warm in the winter.
Oh wait, it's May.
Well, still, next time around.
Next time around. You'll probably steal it though.
It's kind of, I like it. It's kind of amazing that something with all this yellow like matches with like purple and blue, but it all just blends.
Plus it's a really fun pattern because it is just this simple like, oh, it really looks good on you. Actually.
I would probably do it like... what's the next topic?
I think you were going to ask me something about the book.
About the book.
I think that might be yours for next winter. It looks so good on you. Yeah,
it feels good. I love the way these, what do you call it, a shawl?
Yeah.
It's got more to it, like a scarf in my mind, definitionally speaking. If a hoodie's got a pouch, a scarf is a long rectangle. And these just have like this extra mojo. So you can kind of
get a little more on the back of your head.
Do stuff with them.
Oh no, here we go. He's going to create a hood. Do it.
Oh, if you needed a hoodie.
Yeah, and then you wrap it.
And you didn't have one.
Yeah, under your coat. It would be perfect.
You're good to go.
The shawl. Who knew?
That's good. Okay, I was going to ask you about your book.
Okay.
All right, so Melissa's got this book coming out.
And this poor man had to listen for like 4 years of...
She worked really hard researching it, writing it, just all this stuff. It's crazy how much work can go into writing a book, and someone can lay down on a couch and read it in an afternoon.
It's true.
It just...
That always blows my mind.
It's mind-boggling. So I was just going to ask a really basic question. Okay, if a hoodie has a pouch, in my mind, if a scarf is like a long rectangle, what kind of book did you write? You know,
that's a good question.
It's called Reinventing Wool. So what is a wool book?
That's a good question. I was thinking about this because on like how it gets categorized in publishing is like one of those big deals. Like what shelf is it going to go on?
What's going on with that? What are they calling it?
On Amazon, I think it's under fiber arts and textile and fiber arts or something like that.
Didn't know that was a category.
Yeah, and I actually noticed the other day when I was looking at it, it's the #1 new release
in fiber
like
arts
polymers and something else. Like it also is. I don't know why it's over there.
Polymers.
I'm not sure why I'm in. I mean, it's not about synthetics, so I'm not sure why.
Well,
it's
you talk about synthetics.
Yeah,
a little bit.
But I would put it in the fiber arts category.
Okay, fiber arts. So everything about like everything from knitting to sewing to
like
felting.
Anyone who's using wool.
Okay.
Or acrylic stuff, like any tech, like not necessarily sewing, but anyone who's using like natural fibers, synthetic fibers, you know, like that kind of like stuff.
All right, but what kind of book? You know, is it like a highly technical manual?
No.
Is it a story of your adventures? Is it
a little bit? It's got a little adventures.
It's got some adventures.
There's a sad story about us collecting a lot of fleece and finding out that had something wrong with it.
Okay.
And so it's a little bit about me and like my stuff with wool, but it's kind of like those were entry points to these other ways of looking at wool's history. So it's like what was going on with wool.
So mainly 20th century to the present, kind of 1900 to the present.
I'd say like 1930 to 1960.
Yeah.
Mainly.
Okay.
Yeah, like right around the war, like the end of the wars and the World War II, and just like right when wool started having some trouble, having like an image problem, basically. Like wool
was doing okay,
and then
it wasn't.
Like the synthetics came around and some other stuff, and it's kind of like what happened to wool during that time? Because a lot of people focus on the synthetics. They're like, oh man, nylon, rayon, look at what this cool marketing and all this like, you know, engineering and technology happened. Like, but what happened to wool?
So at that same time, you were telling this backstory.
Like
about
the way wool was trying to survive.
Weaving in your own stories and stuff.
So it's like I feel like it's a very accessible, fun kind of like book, like a story. Like they're stories, they're narratives. It's not like I know I'm a professor and all. Like I know professors can write.
Professors can kill the good stuff.
I tried very hard to not kill the good stuff in this book. So I tried to tell stories, and my publisher was really cool. Even though it's university press, like they were like, no, tell the stories. Like make this into like a book that doesn't have all kinds of like weird academic jargon or like any.
It's
of that
also
stuff.
got some characters in it, as I recall.
Yes.
Like some people. Women mainly, I think.
There are women and there are like just scientists of different kinds.
Yeah, but like people who were bizarre or went through some bizarre stuff.
So there's like the lady washing sheep in the department stores. She has a pretty interesting backstory.
Yep.
There's the guy in the USDA who invents the DDT moth proofing.
Oh yeah.
Washable stuff.
What an invention.
That's kind of. And then there's like the lanolin guy who's like, lanolin is my new invention.
Weren't they brothers or something or a team?
There was it was
these two guys.
There's two guys. Two guys who invented.
Okay, so historical middle of the 20th century. Your personal stories coming through.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like if you're interested in wool and like why we have the kind of wool we have today, that's what this book will answer for you. Like, why has wool become...
So it didn't just...
Yeah, like, if you have, like, superwash wool, like, how did we get there?
Yeah.
And, like...
What is it?
Is it an actual, like, thing? Like, how does it work?
Yeah.
And there's actually a big story behind that I found. I thought I was writing a chapter...
I was kind of amazed by that.
About superwash wool, but no.
Yeah.
No,
it turned... From my memory of those chapters, or the superwash thing.
Yeah.
It's not like there is the superwash wool. It's really much more complicated than that.
Yeah. It was all about creating this washable wool that could like rival the synthetic.
And there's not one way to do it.
Yeah. So when you have a scarf like that or a shawl like this that has like both wool and a lot of it is a wool blend with a kind of superwash wool.
Yeah.
The book explains like how we ended up there with so much of wool and like why it went that way. Yeah. So it's fun. It's like it's a history, but it's like an accessible, fun narrative history because I'm more of an English professor than a historian, so I like to tell the stories.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Right. The historian sometimes just like lays out the events
it's not just like,
one after the other.
It's not just like here this person died and this. And I'm not no shade on historians.
We are shading out the historians a little bit.
Shading out the historians.
Whatever.
I like history, but I want to tell it as like I want to bring in the characters and have some fun with it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so it comes out in the fall.
September 8th.
September 2026.
And if you guys pre-order it, it means it goes even higher on that Amazon
textiles list is gonna just blow out.
Get it out there. But you
can't pre-order because this guy already did.
Oh, you're so sweet.
You can pre-order it.
You can sweet.
You gotta buy a copy.
That's awesome. That's really sweet.
Of course.
Oh. My guild was really sweet about it. The Champaign-Urbana Spinners and Weavers Guild asked me to come and give a presentation in the fall. And I was just thinking, like, if there are other people out there who have guilds and you want to hear more about this book or have me either come there or show up on Zoom if that's easier, like whatever, like I'd be really happy to come talk to guilds, just about any. I'm gonna say just
or
about
maybe
anyone.
yarn shops
too,
podcasts.
Absolutely. Yeah, anyone who wanted to talk
parties, just like a wild party going on.
You know how they do like the
lecture's about to begin.
That sounds like we're back in like the 19th century, but there are plenty of like there are people who like go around and do house parties for like good like guitar or rock stars or whatever.
Melissa is available for house parties to talk about her book, Reinventing Wool.
Wild times with wool.
But that's what you're gonna do, right?
I would love to go around and talk about this book with a lot of people because I think
starting
it's
like September, October, November.
Yeah, I want people to know about the materials that they're using and like think about where they came from and why they're the way they are. So
good stories.
That's what this book is about. So that was a nice question. Thank you for asking.
You know,
you listened to the podcast of me talking about the book. For
it's
like
good to hear you talk about it.
Yeah, it's cool. So I think that's
it.
That's all we had for today. All kinds of hoodies and shawls and books and whatever. So there you go.
Some things, or what was this called?
The Simple Thing.
Simple Thing.
Yeah, it looks so good on you.
Thank you.
He's taking
Thank you for the gift.
And I want to thank the podcast producers because I always forget.
Yeah, who are they?
Make sure so Lenore and Laura, Mary, Tony, Bethany, Kendra, Rose, Jennifer, Christine, and Nargis. Appreciate you very much for helping to make this possible, getting us in the dining room to talk about wool and yarn and whatnot. So thank you. And I think we'll see you in a couple weeks. Appreciate you coming on.
Pop a comment down below and I will respond.
Oh, he loves it. He loves it. All right. See you all.